We're standing in an exhibit of time-based media works by mostly local artists here in Milwaukee. The show's actually a good cross-section of the media art producing community here in Milwaukee, and the title of the show is Calling Forth Certain Experiences. The show is, of course, heavily, MIAD laden with faculty and alum, but there are artists here from who are teaching at UWM. There are artists who have no affiliation with any educational organization here in town. There's an artist from Minneapolis here, and we have the good fortune of being allowed to display work by Bill Plympton, Oscar nominee for animation here in the U.S. He's a visiting artist this semester at MIAD, and again has allowed selected works of his to be displayed in the exhibition.
And this is called a Woggle Bug. It's an electronic music module, basically an entire electronic music studio in a box. And it's specifically designed to recreate the kind of tonalities that were used in the movie Forbidden Planet from 1956. It's voltage controlled rather than being digitally controlled. It's all analog.
What is the definition of time-based media? That's a good question, and this exhibit begs that question. It asks that question of people and provides some example. It's art that uses as its basic material, as its basic medium, time.
This piece was filmed in Mazomanie, Wisconsin at the Tough Truck competition. It's the 3rd annual event. I absolutely love it. This is the Tough Truck. Tough Truck competition is actually when there's a course, an obstacle. You're only seeing the center of it. They have to complete the course 3 circuits, and they go over like wire twister or frame bender and twister and a bunch of jumps. They go over a school bus at one point, and they have to complete it 3 times.
Well, I did a couple different things. I have a DVD on one of the monitors back here, and then I have a piece that I did that's comprised of a number of shorter pieces, all put together for the large projection. I work with video in a number of different ways. Sometimes I do use it as kind of a collage medium.
The title comes from a book by a man named Arjun Mulder. The book's called Understanding Media Theory. And in it, he states very close to the beginning of the book that art is something that people really have to figure out and explore for themselves if they want to define it. For the purposes of the book, art is defined as simply a way of using media to call forth certain experiences.
My piece is a 3-minute piece called Anxiety Invention. I started working on this piece in 2001 and I finished it in 2006. So it's got a breadth to it that I think is fairly interesting if you think about what's happened in the world in the span of those 5 years. I started kind of thinking about, I guess, the environment and the rape of the environment and the idea of things kind of spinning out of control and things affected by nonsensical cause and effect in an absurd way, where one thing leads to another and it makes sense in the instant, in that transition, but if you step back, it makes no sense at all. And I wanted to do something kind of geometrically that made me think about what was happening in the world.
That piece is called Neighboring Worlds. It was intended to be a series of pieces that I did that involved sort of voyeuristic view into other people's lives that are happening around us, unbeknownst to us. So I actually shot that video on a whim in my studio where there's a hole in the floor. I've always wondered, what do these people do down there? So I turned on the camera, shot down the hole. So it's a little unnerving to look in a hole in a wall in a vertical plane and realize that you're actually looking through a hole that's going down into space.
This exhibition is intended to be an educational and illuminative display of time-based media works, giving people an idea of what time-based media is, starting to flesh out that idea in their minds. And sequence is the key word. Works that play themselves out in time, that pattern a sequence of human experience is really what I'm going for in this theme. Time-based media is a new major here at MIAD. MIAD's Wisconsin's only four-year art and design institution. This exhibit is very much in support of showing the students what can be achieved through the use of these media, where time is the key, is the essence of the work.